Okay, so today we are looking at how we do some things in Google Sheets. So my main goal is to talk about how we do box and whisker plots. However, I do want to address some things that might crop up as you guys are starting to do your graphs for your project. So for example, here I took this data from Stats Canada. We've got information about years, the number of people, and the number that have income. So if I want to plot this as a histogram, so if I highlight that stuff and go insert chart, I get that one. So I can change that to a histogram like that. So that looks pretty good. Now, the thing you might encounter is that then, like if I want to do all of this together, that's fine. And I can do insert chart, and then you get the side-by-side bar graph, which can be helpful depending on your analysis that you're trying to do. But let's say I don't want the number of persons. Maybe I just want the number with income. So one thing you can do is that you can highlight that year, and then if you hold the control key and I highlight this one, I can go insert chart and I get just those numbers. Okay, so using that control key will help you to get just the pieces that you want. However, when we want numbers over time, quite often we want that as a line graph. And if I try, so similar data, right? If I highlight just a bunch of it there, and I go insert chart, it gives me a nice bar chart, but it gives me the years like that. If I try to do a line chart, I get something like that, which is totally not what I want. So this is why when I told you to organize your data, I said it was important that you put your variables in columns. So you can see here, I just transposed that information. And notice if you look here at this, you can just copy and paste, or you can say it's equal to those cell numbers in case those cells change. That's up to you, but you might find yourself in a position where you need to rearrange the data. I'm going to show you a way that you might be able to do that a little more quickly. But if I have it like this, then I can go insert chart, and now I've got a line graph, which shows that trend over time, which makes more sense when your independent variable is time. Now I can also, move this one out of the way, come on. I can also highlight all of that and do a line graph, and then I've got both of them. So maybe you've got income for males and you've got income for females, and you want to show how those are both changing, whether they're changing at the same rate. So that might be handy for you. Okay. One thing that I want to show you using the same stuff. So notice this is the same information, but it's organized with the year as a column and the number of people as a column, right? So I got this out of Stats Canada like that. Okay, so for example, so if you go to Stats Canada, I've got, I want just males, and I want to go from, there's lots of years here, so we'll go all the way back to 1976. You say apply. It thinks for a minute, but notice now my years are across here. So if I go to this add and remove data, oh, come on, we shouldn't be so slow. Come on. Notice here where it says customize layout. I can say I want statistics as columns. See if I remember how that goes. There should be at least one row. So we're going to go sex as a row because I've got just males. Okay, how did I do this before? Reference period as a row, a column. Oh, I got it to work before. How did I make it not do it now? Okay, I'm going to play with that and come back to it. But basically, if you play around with this, you can get it so that you have your years as a column and you have your income source as a column. So I need something to be a row. Let's try this. See if it will do that. Okay, process of elimination. You guys get to sit here and watch me play. See if I can get this to work. I should have taken a screenshot of what I did. There we go. So it was the reference period as a row. So now I've got all of my years in a column and then all of my numbers. So if you, this is why we put that link in for your data. So if you find that you need your data to be transposed so that what you have in rows are now in columns, if you go back to where you got the data from, especially if it's from Stats Canada, you can rearrange it so it does what you need it to do. Okay, so I hope that's helpful. Okay, I'm going to go back to here. So what we want to talk about today is box plots. Okay, so here my example is we've got 40 students, each take 10 shots with a basketball from a free throw line, and the number of successful shots are recorded. So here's one person, they got 3 out of 10 baskets. So this person also got 3. So if it's given to you in a frequency table, like if you have it as a frequency table, I've found that Google Sheets doesn't handle that very well. So what I did was I just created a list of the data where there's 4 3s because that's what I have in this table. So there's all of my data. Okay. Now you can use the formulas to help you figure out all of these different things. So the one variable statistics, the min, we can use equals min and give it the range of the data. So notice I'm getting the range of the data from that A column. Q1 is equal to quartile, the range of the data, comma 1, to say that we want the first quartile. The median, you can either say equals median, or you can do quartile 2. There's quartile 3, and then there's the max of your data. Okay. To create, so in Google Sheets, they make what we call a candlestick chart. Okay, it's not perfect and it's not my favorite, but it serves its purpose. So in order to make a candlestick chart, you have to put your information in 5 columns. The first column is a label for the axis. So here I've got number of baskets. Second column, so it does candlestick charts vertically like a candlestick. So the second number is the maximum value. The next number is the top end of the box, which would be your Q3. So I'm just copying these numbers from up here. Okay. Then the next one is the Q1. When it does a candlestick chart, it doesn't, a candlestick plot, it doesn't put on the median. So the bottom of the box, and then the min. So then if I highlight those 5 things and say insert chart, and we want to go down here until you find the one that looks like a candlestick. So these guys. Okay, so that gives us a vertical candlestick chart, a vertical box and whisker plot. And we don't know where the median is, but it would be obviously in the middle of that box probably, or somewhere in that box. Okay, so that's one method if you like those. On Brightspace, there's links to other options that you can do for box and whisker plots. So anytime you have a histogram, you should have a box and whisker plot to go with it to show that how that data is spread out. So here's one option, is this one. Let me just clear out what I was doing. I was doing some solutions here, so let me reset that. So basically what it does is you put the data in here. And you're thinking, oh, great, now I'm going to have to retype all my data. Well, you don't have to do that. If you have your data in Google Sheets, I can go here and highlight all of that data, Control-C to copy, go back to here, Control-V to paste, and it will put it all in for me. Okay. Now, this is where you need to be careful. If your data in Google Sheets has commas in it, then you're going to have some problems. So if I type in a big number, right, that does not put commas in it. If you see that your data has commas in it, I ran into this problem with some of these guys. So let me move this out of the way. So see here, I've got commas. So if I want to do a box and whisker plot with this, this is not going to work because the commas will look like different numbers. So if I go to format number, and we want to go to number, nope, that wasn't it, format number, and you go to more formats at the bottom and custom number format. So you just have to set it up so that there's no commas and no spaces. Okay, so I just click apply and it fixes that. So then let's say I want to go do the same thing to those numbers. I can then go to, where was it? Format number, more formats, custom number format, and where was that one I just made? It's supposed to save it for me so that I don't have to do it again. There it is there. Okay, and then I can apply and then it's gone. All right, so that helps to get rid of the commas if you have them and you haven't been able to figure out how to get rid of them. Okay, so there's my box and whisker plot. So then you can use your Control Shift and the thing above the 6 to do a little screenshot of that. I have a different tool on my computer, but does the same thing. So I highlight that, copy it. I go back to my Google Sheet. I can remember where it is. And so this is my basketball free throws, and I can then paste it in here. Okay, so then you can put that with your histogram of your data. Now somewhere around here, I think I have a histogram of my data. I think I made it. Nope, that's a box and whisker plot. See if we can find it. One thing that's handy, especially when you're working on a big sheet with lots of things, if you make your percentage down to 50%, then you can see it a little bit better. So there's my histogram, and then there is the box and whisker plot that goes with it. Okay, so you can see, in my head, I have to turn the box and whisker plot sideways to get a better idea of it, but we can see that it's concentrated more on the left-hand side, so that's why the box is more to the left, so that's why it's a right skew of data. Okay, so when you're doing your one variable statistics, you want a histogram of some sort, your box and whisker plot, and your mean, your Q1, your median, and your Q3 and your max. Okay. Other tools that you can use to do box and whisker plots, there's this one. This one I don't like as much because I can't copy and paste data into it. I have to actually enter them, so I'm not that fond of that one. Thing I like about this one is it will show you true outliers so that you can see if the outliers are there. The Desmos versions don't give you outliers. So I had that data highlighted. Let's see if I still have it copied. We'll do this again just in case. So I copy that data. So I go here and I just get rid of this set. And so these are square brackets, and I paste the data in. Then it will, make sure you don't have any extra brackets. There it will give me my box and whisker plot for that. This one doesn't show the median in the middle of the box, which I kind of miss. If you need to, you can change the scale of your graph here, right? So I can make this go from 0 to 10, I think, right? So that I can see it nicely. You can do a screenshot of it, or you can go here and export image, and you can download a PNG and then paste that into your document. Good old copy paste works too. The other link that I plotted is this one. So if I delete this list, I put in that data that I have, got my 40 elements to get rid of that. And there I've got my box and whisker plot. Again, this one will not show you true outliers, but it will show you the median. So those are your options for doing box and whisker plots using technology, and also some tips on using Google Sheets and rearranging your data from Stats Canada if you need to. All right, I hope that's helpful. If you have any questions, please let me know. Take care.